Hey there! At first sight, these riddles might look simple, but when you get down to work, they may turn out way harder and trickier than you've anticipated. If you still manage to solve most of them easily, you're likely to have a very high IQ score. Number 1. Who's lying? Ava went on holiday to the seaside and got acquainted with 3 guys. Each of them wanted to impress the girl. Once, when they all met in a restaurant to have dinner, the guys started telling Ava their stories. Ben said, "I took part in an expedition to the North Pole. It was so exciting, I saw penguins and polar bears." William boasted, "I work as a pilot, and I've already been all over the world." John couldn't keep silent. "I'm an astronaut. When I was in space last time, I went outside to look at our planet from above and was almost blown away by a strong wind." Who is lying to make a better impression? Ben and John are lying. Penguins live near the South Pole, not the North, and there's no wind in outer space. It's a vacuum. 2. A tricky word. It's a 5-letter word that means something you can eat. Take away the first letter, and it'll be something you get from the sun. Remove the second letter, and it'll be an important activity you do every day. Without the third letter, you'll get a symbol you use while spelling your email address. Take away the fourth letter, and it's something you can eat. What is the original word? It's wheat. 3. Eggs for breakfast. Oliver was on his way to another city. It was late in the evening, and at some point, the man felt tired and sleepy. He immediately stopped at the nearest hotel and went inside. While the receptionist was looking for an available room, Olive saw a breakfast flyer with mouth-watering eggs on it. Excuse me, could I probably have 4 fried eggs right now?" The receptionist wasn't sure about that. Our cook bought 8 eggs in the morning. He broke 3 and fried 3. Were there enough eggs left for Oliver? The cook broke 3 eggs and cooked them. It leaves us with 5 extra eggs, which should be more than enough for Oliver. 4. A mysterious thing. Some people hate it, and some love it. It changes people's thoughts and appearances. If a person takes care of themselves, it goes up higher. Some people manage to hide it, others try but fail. Whatever people do, it never goes down. What is it? It's age. 5. A denial. 4 doctors said that Simon was their brother, but Simon claimed he didn't have any brothers. Who was lying? Everyone was telling the truth. All the doctors were Simon's sisters. 6. Lost in the forest. You're on a camping trip with your friends. While they're putting up a tent in the middle of the forest, you decide to wander around and pick up some firewood. You get so engrossed in this task that you notice that you've gotten lost only an hour later. There's no sign of your friends, and it's getting dark. Suddenly, you see a tiny house. You knock on the door and see a magician. After listening to your story, the magician offers his help. "I can give you 1 superpower, but you need to choose carefully. What do you need more? Night vision, super hearing, or the ability to run lightning fast?" Being able to run very fast won't help you because you don't know where to run. Night vision will be useless because trees will prevent you from seeing your friends. Pick super hearing. It'll help you hear your friends calling you. They must be looking for you. 7. Funny mathematics. If 11 plus 2 is 1, Then how much is 9 plus 5? Two. 11 o'clock plus 2 hours is 1 o'clock, and 9 o'clock plus 5 hours is 2 o'clock. 8. A mark on a tree. When Matt was 6 years old, he hammered a nail into his favorite tree in the garden to mark his height. Then his family moved away, and he couldn't check how fast he was growing anymore. 10 years later, at the age of 16, Matt decides to come back to find the tree. If the tree grows 2 inches a year, how much higher is the nail now? Nail's going to be at the same height. Trees grow at their tops, not bottoms. 9. Don't break it. You're given a drinking glass and told to throw it to the sidewalk, but you have to do it in such a way that it flies 10 feet and doesn't break. Do you think it's possible? You just need to throw the glass further away. Let's say you throw it 30 feet away. Then it'll easily fly the first 10 feet without breaking. 10. A climbing trip. One man was an experienced mountain climber. Once, he set off on a new journey and promised his wife to call in a couple of days. He fulfilled his promise, and while they were chatting, he mentioned that on that climbing trip, he met an old friend. "Can I invite him to stay with us for a while?" His wife agreed. But there's a problem. Half a year ago, he had an accident, and now he's blind. The wife wasn't happy about the new information. In this case, invite him for a day or so. It'll be difficult to have a disabled person in our house for a longer time. After that, the husband hung up. He never returned home. The wife was looking for him, but couldn't find him. 1 month later, the woman accidentally ran into her husband in the street. That's when she realized what a terrible mistake she had made. What did she do wrong? There was no friend. It was the husband himself who had an accident and lost his eyesight. When he heard his wife's reaction, he understood she wouldn't accept him and decided not to go back home. Oh, that's sad. 11. Which drink? Elizabeth, Steve, and George are all drinking coffee. Karen, Dave, and Bert are drinking soda. Is Helen drinking soda or coffee? Helen's drinking coffee. She has 2 letter E's in her name, just like all other coffee drinkers. 12. Who is richer? Look at the picture with 2 women in it and try to figure out which one is richer. The one on the right. She's a fashion designer. The woman in red is wearing a purse with her name on it, and being a designer, she must be rich. 13. A scary creature. It has a neck, but no head. 2 arms, but no hands. What is it? It's a shirt. 14. Boiling an egg. You want to cook an egg for exactly 2 minutes. Unfortunately, you only have a 3-minute hourglass timer, a 4-minute one, and a 5-minute timer. How can you boil the egg for exactly 2 minutes? Wait until the water starts boiling and turn the 3-minute and 5-minute timers over. After the 3-minute timer runs out, drop the egg into the water. When the 5-minute timer runs out, you'll have your 2-minute egg. You don't need the 4-minute timer at all. 15. A tough choice. You're stuck in the forest on a windy, freezing cold day. It's getting dark, and you realize you can't get out of the forest in time. You have to find a shelter. You see an old car that's run out of gas, an ice cave, and a run-down wooden cabin. Where should you hide to survive the night? If you choose a wooden cabin, its walls won't protect you from a piercing wind. If you opt for a car, the metal it's made from will prevent the wind from reaching you. But with no gas, the car won't keep you warm. The only option you have is to spend the night in the cave. The ice will at least block the wind and conserve some heat. 16. An elusive thing. The faster you run, the harder it is to catch this thing. What is it? It's your breath. 17. A dishonest doctor. Kevin is a doctor from Boston. Once, he asked his boss to let him attend a medical conference in France. The boss lets Kevin go, but tells him to send a photo report as soon as he gets to Europe. Several days later, the man receives an email from Kevin that says, "Hello from France. That's me right now." After looking at the photo, the boss realizes Kevin has lied to him. How has he figured it out? In the photo, there is a clock on the wall that shows exactly the same time as the clock in the boss's office. If Kevin was in Paris, the clock would show a big time difference. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right, and remember, stay on the bright side of life.